It's here! Midnights is here. Yes. Not to mention, shortly after, we got 7 more tracks. Our thoughts and prayers with those who bought the 4 vinyls to make a clock, only to realize that there was going to be 7 extra tracks on the streaming platforms. Obviously, I'm just joking around. I know people who buy vinyls often don't even actually listen to them and just have them for collection or for like decoration. So in this video, we're going to be looking at first impressions, my first impression, fan first impressions, and critic first impressions. For me, it's a little early personally to give like a very strong opinion. I'm the type of person who needs to listen to a track a few times to really get into it. So first, I'm going to start with my 2 cents. I've been listening to the album all day in the background, which is not the same as like really listening to it and paying attention. For me, the album really feels like an evolved version of 1989, mixed with some of the darkness from Reputation in some of the tracks. It's very atmospheric and it has like an electric pop feel to it with a lot of synthesizers. I really love that sound and the ambience it's able to create, but I wish there had been a little bit more variety. This is an album about 13 sleepless nights at different stages in her life and for different reasons. And yet most of the songs have a very similar vibe or atmosphere or style to them. Of course, some exceptions, but in general. And I know when building an album, having like a cohesive sound is normal, but I was just hoping that each song would kind of have like its own feel to it based on that experience. So more that the song would have its own sound and not that there was an album sound, if that makes sense. Because every sentiment and theme can come with a very different sound connotation. I was also really hoping for like one epic song. I know these types of songs are hard to come by. You're not just gonna sit there and write all too well. But since these songs are supposed to be about these like intense emotions keeping you up at night, I was really hoping for like a wild build up with like a very intense, heartbreaking, groundbreaking bridge that would like knock us all off our feet. But from what I've heard so far, it's just not there. If it is there and I have missed it, because as I said, I've just been listening to this in the background, then I apologize. But I've heard the album now a couple of times in the background and there was nothing that really stood out to me from that point of view. I will later be doing analysis on each of the tracks, like looking deeper into the lyrics and the song meaning. But on a first impression basis, given the premise of the album, I was left really wanting a little bit more. I liked that Vigilante shit had like a very different vibe. It was almost kind of like Billie Eilish style, which was pretty cool. And I think right now that's probably the song that has stood out the most for me from the album. Bejeweled was also kind of different. It was reminding me a little bit of Ready for It, but I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about that track. Another song that stood out for me was Would've, Could've, Should've. This song had a stronger presence than a lot of the other songs in the album. So first impressions, as I said, I really like it. I'm very excited to dive a little bit deeper into it, just because on a first basis impressions, I am really left wanting a little bit more in terms of build-ups and like drama. Probably they're there in the lyrics, and because I've had everything in the background, I haven't really gotten to that yet. At least that's what I'm hoping. But I also definitely didn't get my Bohemian Rhapsody that I was waiting for. Now let's talk about the critical reception. Currently on Metascore, it's been rated 94. This is only based on 9 critics, so this is obviously going to be changing over the next weeks when more people start listening to it and leave their reviews. The user score is 9.1 based on just under 800 reviews. I wanted to do a comparison on how her other albums have scored, but as I said, I think it's too early to look at those numbers. But what I can do is compare what one specific critic has said, and I'm going to be talking about The Independent because I saw some people on TikTok losing their mind that they gave this album 100 and they said that this is the only time that it's ever gotten 100. So from what I saw, The Independent has given Evermore, Folklore, Lover, and Reputation all 80s, but I saw that it gave Red Taylor's version 100, so it hasn't been the first 100 that's been given out. Now let's look at some of the fan reception. Overall, the fan reception has been exceptional, of course. People are excited and get emotional, reinventing their identities to match Midnights. This is amazing and so much better than I could have expected. This album makes me smile while also cry. I'm listening to it on repeat and I loved it on the first listen. But of course, as with any big fan base, there were some people that were left disappointed. I'm so fucking sad. This is exactly not my type of music. Some people saying that this was just not their type of music. Others saying it's just fine. It's not bad, but it doesn't do it for them. A lot of people were disappointed that Lana didn't get a verse in Snow on the Beach.
My mic's not working.
Bummer. Let's go, Andre!
Some people said that they were just underwhelmed by the album. Some people were just desperately asking, where are the bridges? And some people were just confused by the lyrics, everybody's a sexy baby. A lot of people also said that the 7 extra songs were better than the actual album. Some people were not vibing with the deeper versions of the vocals, but I actually kind of like that. So all of these things really come down to personal preference. Me personally, I think you could tell from my reviews that I'm kind of in the middle. I really like the album and I'm definitely going to be streaming it non-stop. But right now, a few listens in, I am not super hyped about any of the songs or like losing my mind over it. I remember the first time I heard songs like Mine or Cruel Summer or Don't Blame Me, I had like an instant magnetic draw to those songs that I just couldn't stop playing them on repeat. But as I said, it's kind of hard to judge when I've only heard the album through a few times in the background. I'm really excited to dig deeper into all the different song meanings, also to look at the anti-hero video for Easter eggs. One fun thing that I did notice right away was that question samples Out of the Woods at the beginning of the song. It has the little I remember. But other Easter eggs are yet to be uncovered. Let me know in the comments, what are your first impressions? Were you excited? Were you left disappointed? Were you like me, where you're kind of in the middle, where you're really excited, but were maybe also expecting that there would be something a little bit more emotionally grabbing? And that's it for this video. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you in some of my upcoming videos. Bye!